Welcome back. Lebanon voted for a new parliament this week. In a closely fought election, the pro-Western March the 14th coalition was able to hang on to power. The news came as quite a surprise for both sides, but it'll be a great relief to Western governments, and the USA in particular, who feared a possible return to power by the Iranian-backed Hezbollah party. To find out how the March 14 coalition won this election, and to learn what this means for Lebanon's future, I'm joined now from Lebanon by one of its leaders, one of the leaders of the March 14th coalition, Walid Jumblatt. Welcome back to him to the programme. Mr. Jumblatt, straight away, to what do you attribute your victory, the victory of the March 14th coalition?
Let's say it's attributed to the fact that the voters, the Lebanese, said it's time to fix up a state that can control the whole country. We don't want that a single party, dominates the whole arena of politics. I mean, Hezbollah, and at the same time, we want to have stability and security. And well, in the past, we had the sit-in in downtown. We had so many problems, acute divisions of Lebanon. The siege of the Syria, the 7th of May events when the Hezbollah raided part of Beirut and part of the mountain. The voters said, no, it's time to have one state, one army, one security and stability.
And what effect do you think this will have on politics in the Lebanon now? In what way will it have an effect? Will it change anything? Or will it be very much the same as it's been up until now?
We've got to sit together later on with Hezbollah and their allies. Nobody in Lebanon can exclude the other. And it's a electoral law based on the representation of communities, confessional communities. So it's in a kind of alliances between, let's say, the Druses, the Christians, and most of the Christians, and the Sunnis against the Shiites. We cannot stay like that. We have to speak with the Shiites, and we have to fix up a compromise later on with Hezbollah so that their apparatus, military apparatus, will be part of the Lebanese army to defend Lebanon against Israeli aggressions.
And the US, of course, has been threatening that it might withdraw aid to Lebanon if the Hezbollah party were to win. Do you think that had some effect on the voting?
If in case the Hezbollah were to win, well, of course, they would have controlled. I mean, the different services and the apparatus of the state, but it would have divided the Lebanese society more and more. Actually, already, and it is divided. We've got to find out a way to get out of this confessional, communal division. So it cannot be but through a national government of unity of national salvation, let's call it like that.
I read here that Middle East envoy for Obama, George Mitchell, been visiting Beirut today. Did you see him, or are you going to see him? What effect has that had?
No, he hasn't asked to see me, but I mean, he should start there in Palestine. Freezing the settlements is the main issue for Mr. Mitchell. Because if you're going to, waste time between Syria and Lebanon and other issues, we won't reach anywhere. Freezing the settlements is the starting process for the solution of the Israeli-Arab crisis.
Did the speech last week in Cairo of President Obama, did that have any effect on people in the Lebanon? Was it well received? Did they see it as a change of direction by the United States, or nothing as dramatic as that?
It was a nice speech, beautiful speech across borders of religions, across racial borders, stressing on the fact of education, development. But he mentioned, and he says the fact that freezing the settlements is a must to start to solve the Israeli-Arab conflict. And this is the big issue because time might be running for President Obama. He has ahead of him 10 months. Then later on, if he doesn't freeze the settlements, we'll go back to square one and nothing will be left of the West Bank, of the supposed area where the Palestinian state should be fixed on.
President Obama is reported to be sending George Mitchell, his envoy, to Syria next, and that he wants to bring Syria back into regular discussions into the future of the Middle East, to take attention on Syria and not to regard it as an enemy. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think he's being naive about Syria?
Not at all. It's a good idea if we can enhance the Syrians to cooperate. I mean, with the peace process, yes. And after all, they have also their own issue with the Israelis, which is the occupied Golan Heights. Not at all. It's a very good approach, but still the main basic issue is Palestine. And here, I mean, we go back to the main issue. It's settlements, freezing them, then dismantling the settlements. I mean, there is no possibility of having a viable Palestinian state with the actual settlements.
And the head of Hezbollah said he was going to be very sporting. He was congratulating the winners of this election and so on. Was it free and fair, this election, in your judgment?
Yes, the elections were free and fair, and the leader of the Hezbollah, Mr. Nasrallah, Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, accepted the results and said that, well, we have lost the elections, and we have to accept the decision of the ballots, of the votes. Yes, he said that on Sunday night.
Will Hezbollah continue to have a veto on certain government policies and cabinet policies, or will they no longer have that?
I think nobody now is willing to go back to the old experience whereby the whole country was paralyzed by the sit-in and by the veto minority. I don't think we will accept it. We have to cooperate, we have to fix up a compromise, and above all, we have to sit later on, continue dialoguing, enhance the dialogue, so how to incorporate peacefully the military apparatus of Hezbollah inside the Lebanese army and inside the Lebanese state.
You've said on several occasions that being a leader in the Lebanon, as you are, you've got to be prepared to be assassinated. But with these warmer statements coming out of Hezbollah and so on, has that danger receded, Walid, or is it still there?
The recent discovery of so many Israeli spying networks in Lebanon is a big danger for the future of Lebanon. Fortunately, we've been able to discover many networks, but who knows what they are hiding, the Israelis, so to destabilize Lebanon. So we have to be careful.
Have to be careful. But in general, you sound a little more optimistic than you did a year or two ago. Are you more optimistic about the future of Lebanon?
It is much better nowadays, but I don't like this terminology, the Western-backed majority. We are Lebanese, and of course we are backed by the West, by the Arabs, and we want Lebanon to be non-aligned. We don't want to be, focused, so much helped by the West, so that, well, it could lead to destabilization. We have a Lebanese internal compromise is better. And I hate, after all, also some Israeli statements backing our victory. Let them go to hell, the Israelis. We want our territories back, and we don't want any relationship with the Israelis.
Well, we wish you peace at home, as people talk about peace around the world, but Lebanon could do with a period of peace, and we wish you that. Walid Jumblatt, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Walid Jumblatt there. Next, change of pace, Yoko Ono. The legendary Yoko Ono joins me in the studio after the break.